You're watching The Legal Breakdown. Glenn, we have some major news on the contempt front, which is basically the tool that judges are able to use in the event that the federal government, the Trump administration, opts to defy the courts, which is what's happening right now. Can you explain what just happened in Judge Boasberg's courtroom?
Yeah, Brian, Judge Boasberg just issued a 43-page opinion finding probable cause that the Trump administration is in criminal contempt of court, that they willfully violated, defied his court orders to stop deporting Venezuelan immigrants to El Salvador. If planes were in the air, turn them around. If planes were about to take off, keep them on the damn ground. He didn't say damn, that was my addition. But this is a big effing deal.
The Trump administration seems intent on testing the limits of presidential power in its legal battles with the courts over immigration. Two judges have now publicly opened the door to holding the Trump administration in contempt for violating court orders.
He is not coming back to our country. There was no situation ever where he was going to stay in this country. None. He would have come back, had one extra step of paperwork, and gone back again. But he's from El Salvador, he's in El Salvador, and that's where the president plans on keeping him.
I want to emphasize that President Trump and our Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Vice President of the United States are lying when they say that Abrego Garcia has been charged with a crime or is part of MS-13. That is a lie.
Breaking news, a federal judge has just found that the Trump administration has willfully disregarded one of his court orders and that probable cause exists that it is in criminal contempt of court.
The Trump administration did not stop the flights, and ever since, Boasberg has been investigating to find out if the Trump administration willfully ignored his court order to stop the flights.
Yeah, this is a blockbuster development. I mean, I cannot express to you how rare it is, how absolutely extraordinary it is for a federal judge to tell the federal government, stop doing the thing you are doing. And for the federal government not only to continue to do it, but to then essentially mock the judge, tell the judge he doesn't have any power, that he doesn't understand the law, he doesn't understand his own order, and basically dare him to find that they willfully violated the order. And when you willfully violate a court order, what happens next is you are held in contempt of court. To be honest with you, the judge here is showing remarkable restraint. I mean, the judge could just say, you are in contempt, period. Instead, what the judge is doing is saying, look, I'm going to give you an opportunity to purge your contempt. I'm going to give you an opportunity to admit that what you did is wrong, fix it, and we can talk, Paige, about what that looks like, fixing it now, and afford you procedural due process. By the way, the irony here of the judge bending over backwards to give these DOJ lawyers and these other officials who were involved in the chain here, and this is going to be quite a thing to see who winds up having been in the chain of decision-making to violate this court's order. But anyway, giving them procedural rights that they have been so loath to give to anyone else, the judge is giving here because he wants to, like I said, bend over backwards to get this 100% right and not lead further into a constitutional crisis than we already are.
None of their responses have been satisfactory. Now, Boasberg also points out in his opinion that the initial order that the Trump administration has willfully ignored was later vacated by the Supreme Court. Boasberg explains that even though the TRO was vacated, the administration still had a responsibility to follow that court order until it was reversed. And while the court order was in effect, the Trump administration did not do its required actions.
To think they're just going to get away with it. They're just going to bully. They're going to bully these judges, and these judges won't stand up for themselves. And good for Judge Boasberg for not backing down. You know, he gave them more than fair warning. He gave them more warning than any private litigant would get in any case in any courthouse in America.
Well, Mr. President, you said that if the Supreme Court said someone needed to be returned, that you would abide by that. You said that on Air Force One just a few days ago. And they said that it must be facilitated.
Why don't you just say, isn't it wonderful that we're keeping criminals out of our country? Why can't you just say that? Why do you go over and over? And that's why nobody watches you anymore. You know, you have no credibility. Please go ahead.
Is it that hard? Is it that hard to say thank you? Some of you in the media are such fools. See, if you would just kiss my ass like some other people, maybe your ratings would go up. Trump treats the press in this country like they are pain-in-the-ass customers at a cheesecake factory asking for salad dressing on the side instead of journalists doing their job in inquiring as to why our commander-in-chief is a blatant hypocrite and wannabe dictator. And you could feel Trump's animosity toward the press seeping into today's press conference.
I'm not sure what is so difficult about this for everyone in the media to understand.
I could maybe help you with that. See, the media, not to mention American citizens and millions of others around the globe, are watching a White House press secretary advocate for an administration that is defying a Supreme Court order, reflexively group together all immigrants with murderers and rapists, proudly parroting the words of a foreign dictator, and, with a level of ease that's just a tad bit troubling, get getting on board with the very illegal deportation of American citizens to a foreign country's prison.